Now, I don't know. The other vid I did, y'all didn't tell me no crazy
Now,
stuff.
updates keep pouring in about the David story. Spelled
So in my head, I don't know what y'all think about it though. Like, I think it was him, because I ain't saying it was him, gang. I ain't police. I don't know about nothing. I'm just saying though. Tattoo. You with a 15-year-old mud. Even if you didn't do it, Didi do it. Like, Didi? I don't know.
d4vd.
Didi.
And so far, we've learned that Celeste Rivas,
He's
a
free?
teenage girl, was found in the front
No
trunk of
way.
an impounded Tesla registered to him.
W3K
Within
though.
48 hours, LAPD searched the Hollywood Hills home David was staying at and seized multiple devices. And now the internet's been asking a lot of questions, but the biggest one is, why hasn't David been arrested yet? And why is this process taking so long? I'm locked into finding out the truth about this case, and I'll be keeping you updated every step of the way. So let's break this one down together. By now, you've probably seen the headlines. Celeste Rivas,
Gang, I
a
ain't gonna
teenage girl,
lie.
was identified.
It's straight Sunday. I live in a Spanish neighborhood. Shout out my mamacitas. You feel me? Shout out my gazas too. Shout out my papacitos. You know what I'm saying, gang? But y'all gonna hear some noise in the back, bro, cause they be partying. If y'all know about my Dominican, que lo que, mamacita, que lo que. You know what I'm saying?
After her remains were found in the front trunk of a Tesla registered to popular singer David. The car had been towed to a Hollywood impound, and that's when staff noticed a foul odor, opened the front trunk, and made the discovery. Since then, detectives executed a search warrant at a Hollywood Hills home where he'd been staying at and seized electronics. Popular brands who partnered with David, like Hollister, for campaigns, pulled back, and his world tour was also put on pause. And famous celebrities like Canadian singer Tate McRae distanced herself along with singer Kali Uchis. So let's get into it. Why hasn't David been arrested yet? And what's actually happening behind the scenes? Let me walk you through this step by step. Here's what we know so far. According to the authorities, the Tesla was registered to David Burke, which is David's real name. The body inside was severely decomposed to the point where it's been difficult for the medical examiners to determine exactly what happened or how she died. Police also stated that the body had been in that Tesla for an extended period of time, though they did not specify exactly how long. In connection with this, we also know that the Tesla was towed to Hollywood Tow after it was reported abandoned. According to NBC Los Angeles, neighbors said the car had been parked there for more than a month before it was finally taken away. That explains why the smell was so.
They said she just turned 15 like 2 weeks ago or some stuff like that. That means she was 14 with him? I mean, we know it was 13 or something, right? But that means she dies at 14, bro. That's even crazy.
When a body decomposes in a closed space like a car, gases build up and the odor is impossible to ignore. Believe it or not, that's actually one of the most common ways police discover remains in cases like this. We also know that Celeste Rivas was 14 at the time of her death. She would have turned 15 on September 7, 2025, but her body was found.
Rabies is a preventable viral disease.
Most fault, but she was chopped though. Like, no promo. I don't know what this is, yeah. But she was chopped, bro. That's crazy, bro. Like, that's wow.
8. That means that it was confirmed she died at 14, not 15. And just to clear something up, early on, the medical examiner's office listed her as 15, and that's what I was going off of in my initial coverage. In reality, that detail was off, so my apologies for repeating it before the correction came out. And shout out to everyone who caught that and corrected me. We keep each other accountable on here, and that's how it should be. Now, the medical examiner office also confirmed how she was found. Celeste was wearing a tube top and small black leggings. She was described as having wavy black hair with a metal stud earring and a yellow metal chain bracelet. Something else I want to share with you is this. Even though the cause of death hasn't been released or determined yet because of the condition of the remains, one outlet, the Los Angeles Times, has reported that the authorities are treating it as a homicide. Now, to be clear, investigators still don't know who's responsible, but that's exactly what they're looking to uncover right now, and those answers will come out as the case develops. And now let's get to the actual investigation and why David hasn't been arrested yet. Within hours of Celeste being identified, LAPD's Robbery Homicide Division served a search warrant at a Hollywood Hills home where David had been staying. The home located at an upscale neighborhood on Doheny Drive, just north of Sunset Boulevard, Los Angeles. And David actually doesn't own the property, but sources say detectives went in and walked out with computers and electronics. This was the first major sign that the police are actively digging into his world. So right now, there's obviously a connection between David and Celeste. Her mother, of course, confirmed she had a boyfriend named David, and people have pointed out things like the matching tattoos, and there's, of course, a bunch of photos of them together online that have surfaced along with a live stream clip. But here's the reality. Investigators are still trying to figure out just how deep that connection goes, and that's the part we don't know yet. On one hand, the Tesla was in fact registered to David, and her body was discovered inside. On the other hand, police sources have said it's one of several vehicles linked to David, and that multiple people had access to those cars at different times. If you don't understand what that means, basically, most celebrities don't just, drive their own cars every single day. Their vehicles might be used by friends, family, staff, managers, drivers, or borrowed for errands.
Yeah,
so
that's
because
a fact too,
the Tesla was in David's name, doesn't automatically prove that he was the one behind the wheel or the one who put Celeste there. And that's where caution comes in, because detectives can't just rely on paperwork. They need hard proof. It's not enough to point to the registration. They need forensic evidence and a clear timeline that ties a specific person to that trunk. Without that, an arrest could fall apart in court. And that leads us to where the case stands right now. At the stage, police are retracing Celeste's final days and digging through the devices they seized, because whatever is on those electronics could lay the foundation for where to look next. They're also patiently waiting on forensics to close the gaps, and that's what explains the silence. In order to build a case that holds up in court, every single detail has to line up. So what exactly are investigators zeroing in on? Two critical questions. Number one, the timeline of events. They need to figure out exactly when Celeste died. As of now, they only know it was an extended period of time before discovery, but the precise time of death has not been pinned down yet. Number two, they're trying to establish when her body was placed in the trunk and by whom. That detail alone could make or break the case. And this is what complicates everything. Detectives don't know yet when the exact moment Celeste died.
This is what I was thinking though. My fault for yapping though, but don't the Teslas have like the, the cameras and stuff? Because I remember that's how Julio Fulio footage came out. You get what I mean? I don't know. Y'all let me know though. Y'all let me know. Cause it probably was broken. That's probably why it was parked up for mad long. Yeah, I don't know.
It was, or the exact moment her body ended up in that Tesla. Until those blanks are filled in, no arrest can stick. So social media has been reacting to the fact that David hasn't been arrested yet, and yeah, there's been a lot of outrage. Some people are even saying that there must be some type of favoritism going on. Like, is he paying somebody off, you know, to still be out on the streets?
Yeah,
but that's not really what's happening. According to the law, he is innocent until proven guilty, okay? And as of right now, we do know that he's been cooperating with the police. Now, that doesn't automatically clear him, because even guilty people can cooperate, but it does help his case if it turns out he wasn't involved in what happened to Celeste. Here's the bigger picture. Everything right now comes down to the medical examiner. Once the medical examiner officially rules this as a homicide and determines how Celeste died, then law enforcement can move forward with charges against whoever is responsible. Until then, it's very difficult for police to move on anyone because the case wouldn't hold up in court. And David is of course connected to all this in some way because Celeste was found in a Tesla registered to him. That's the fact tying him into the investigation. But how deep that connection really goes is exactly what detectives are still working to figure out. And that's why this case feels like it's been moving slower than everyone expects. Since we're in the thick of it and everybody knows about it, everything has to be airtight here. But while the medical examiner's office does its work, the LAPD is currently going through the electronics they seized, so iPhones and MacBooks, because the digital trace can establish a timeline, location, communications, and access. And that's the stuff that either confirms or kills a theory. So as of now, all we have to do is just watch how the investigation unfolds. I trust that law enforcement is they're gonna do their thing, right? The medical examiner.
But my thing is though, even if they do their thing and they find out, Brody didn't do it, you know what I mean? Chat, like he didn't do it, like he didn't commit the murder, he didn't put her on the trunk, nothing, right? What they gonna do about him being with a 14, 13-year-old though? You get me? I don't know, bro. It's not like, oh, she's dead. Like, it's not like, all right, you and your mans, y'all slide. You feel me? Something happens, now he's dead. So it's like, oh, you can say it was him or something and stuff. No, bro. Even if she's dead and it wasn't him, what's the word with being with the 13 and 14-year-old, bro?
Ruling the forensic evidence from those devices and the timeline detectives are piecing together right now. Those are the keys that'll decide whether David walks free or whether this turns into the biggest case of his entire life. And until those pieces lock into place, he's legally still an innocent man, of course. But none of this stuff changes the heartbreaking fact a 14-year-old girl lost her life and her body was left in the trunk of a car. I'm deeply invested in finding out what happened to Celeste, and I'm sure you are. But more importantly, who carried out this evil act against this little girl. Whoever that person is, they deserve to be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. So let's make sure we keep our focus in the right place on getting justice for Celeste and not letting the noise distract us from that. If you made it to the end, drop a like, and like I promised, I got you with every
Nah, drop a like, gang. Y'all know what he said. Subscribe. I appreciate y'all boys. W3K. We almost on that 4K. I say almost because y'all be running that shit up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I'm stuttering, bro, but y'all be doing y'all job when it comes to the subscribing and running stuff up. We got some clips that's banging on the shorts. Appreciate y'all boys, gang. Y'all know it's the word. Follow everything. Grow, gang. Grow.